This is the Emotional Cycle tutorial for SwapMyMood. The emotional cycle is a tool that helps with emotion regulation. It can be used on its own or as part of SWAPs, a tool that helps with problem solving. Either way, the emotional cycle is used to help understand what is going on and what I can do about it. The emotional cycle has 5 parts, each influencing one another. The trigger, which is an event, circumstance, or cause of reaction. The emotions, which are feelings such as anger or frustration. Sensations, which are the bodily reactions in response to something. Thoughts, which are the mental processes in your mind, such as judgments or opinions. And behavior, which is observable action that we can take. Let's say my car broke down this morning and I need to get to work. By doing an emotional cycle, I can think about how the problem is affecting me. I can think about the trigger and think about what happened right before I started feeling the way that I was feeling. My car broke down, that's a trigger. It also triggers a feeling of loss of control. Once I've identified the triggers, I can think about whether there are any strategies I can use to help lessen their effect on me. After giving it some thought, I think doing something I enjoy could be a helpful distraction. Once I've entered the trigger or triggers, then I can think about the emotions I'm feeling. But let's say I want to have the app provide some suggestions for identifying parts of the emotional cycle and strategies. I can go into the settings to enable this support. Now when I enter the emotion I am feeling, I can review a list of common emotions to help me identify how I am feeling. If I look at the list and don't see the emotion I want to enter, I can type it in. This will add it to the list. I might also be feeling worried. Once I've identified my emotions, I can think about whether any strategies could be helpful to lessen the intensity of my emotion. In this case, I'll choose one from the list. The parts of the emotional cycle that I've already completed now have yellow rings around them. You don't have to complete all parts of the emotional cycle, and you can complete them in any order. I'll do sensations next. Emotions are usually associated with a feeling or a sensation in the body. In this case, I might notice that I'm breathing shallowly, so I'll click on the chest and pick breathing shallowly. And then I'll select a strategy to address this sensation. I'll choose breathe deeply. When I've finished entering the sensations, I can then try to notice my thoughts. One thought I might have is that this always happens. I might also think I'll never be able to afford the repairs. And then I can enter a strategy. I'll choose, if the thought is not helpful, let it go. For the behavior section, I can list either behaviors I'm doing or that I'm urged to do. For example, I might want to go back to bed. I might also think about throwing my keys or screaming. Then I can choose a strategy for this behavior. I'll choose ask myself if this behavior is helpful. When I'm ready, I can hit review, and then I can take a look at all of the different parts of the emotional cycle that I've identified, as well as the strategies I've chosen. Then I can hit save. If I want to review this emotional cycle later, I can just go to My Saved Emotional Cycles and select it. I can then review each part of the emotional cycle, as well as the strategies I've selected to try to change parts of the emotional cycle, which in turn may change the intensity of the emotion I'm experiencing, resulting in emotion regulation. If I'd like, I can also email the emotional cycle to anyone I choose. And that's how the emotional cycle works in SwapMyMood.